I think they found it quite confusing.
Anarchy in my sex life. All right, welcome back to Unraveled. My name is Alex Kahn.
I'm Olivia Janelle.
What's
Viola.
up, guys?
This is Mushroom. If you're watching, if you're listening, you're really missing out on the cutest face of all time.
Oh,
He's getting involved in the podcast. He was like, wait, you guys are going to record?
yeah.
So you guys need a producer? But then he ends up asleep halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great little producer. He's like most stoners in LA.
Yeah.
We're recording early because we're going to go to Vegas for the weekend. So you guys are getting this after we went to Vegas, but we're recording it before. So who knows what happened? What they say?
It's
what did they say about Vegas?
It's not like, well, what do they even say anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, nothing stays anywhere.
No, I mean, honestly.
That is true. The idea of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas was like pre-social time.
Yeah.
But it's like, what happens anywhere? Like, were you writing a postcard to somebody's wife? Like, you know what I mean? Like, didn't it stay anywhere back then?
The whole allure, I think, to that ad campaign was it does stay, like, nothing really stays anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, here, I guess here's probably why, is because if you go to some small town and you fuck some hayseed's wife, he might track you down. He might just knock on your door and knock the shit out of you in front of your family.
Yeah.
If you're in Vegas, it's like, hey,
Yeah. All bets are off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So we're going to go to Vegas. So we're recording early, but happy Mother's Day late. But it's I want you to know. I'm
early.
saying it early.
Yeah.
It's just you're hearing it late.
We're thinking.
Sounds like a you problem, moms.
Our card is in the mail. This is the post office. It's not us, the entertainers. It's us,
the children,
the producer.
Anyway, so yeah, that's it. We don't have big plans. I think one of our plans for Vegas, stupidly, is to go eat one of the fun Vegas brunches. We have a friend coming to town, and he's never been to Vegas, so we're doing like Vegas-y things. But I think our plan is to go eat one of the big like brunches and then go to the pool. So sounds hot.
Ugh, sounds too hot.
Nothing I love more than a belly full of fucking waffles in a 95-degree day at Caesar's.
All you can Prosecco and
all you
syrup.
can fit in your bikini. It should be that instead of all you can eat, all you can fit in the clothes you brought.
Yeah. Good
That's
luck.
their new slogan. It sounds like they've been needing something since what happens here stays here.
Yeah. Also, very bubbly drinks, mimosas.
Yeah.
Give you gas before you go out.
Yeah, and I mean, all Vegas drinks are the like Fat Tuesday things. It's like, I mean, it's like a icy, but with alcohol.
Yeah, Vegas is just sugar and bubbles.
Yeah.
And
look hot at the same time. Again, the challenge is impossible.
yeah, those who do it well.
I know. I think you got to get the good fake tits and walk around, because the key to good fake tits is as long as they're bigger than your stomach, that's what people notice
slimming,
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like black.
Yeah. It's slimming.
Black and nice tits.
Here's the headline.
Okay.
60-hour dance sessions.
Nope.
Simulated sex and ketamine. Inside the world of hardcore VR ravers. VR raving.
This sounds like the worst of all the worlds. So you get real drugs but fake partying. I mean, I guess it's safer maybe.
VR clubbing has exploded since COVID-19 lockdowns, with enthusiasts doing drugs and finding friends and love in an inclusive environment.
And love. I love that. Okay.
But some say the convenience is making it harder to control their vices.
Okay, wait. I have so many do you know anything about, have you ever heard of this before?
No.
VR means it's only your world, right? Like it's not.
No, it could be multiple. Like it's almost there.
Like,
could be.
Are there other
yes.
incels also?
Think about this. You remember that stupid silent DJ or silent disco we went to?
Oh, do I ever? That wasn't my first one of those.
It's essentially a silent disco, but you have a headset on, and like honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if they were getting real DJs.
Are they in a fake world though? Like
like
a dance club?
Yes, they're in a nightclub.
So other people that they're seeing in the dance club, like they're like grinding with someone who's also real.
I don't know exactly if
in
that's
some ways.
But
because it said finding love, like
yeah.
So are they
They're
in love
communities? Yeah.
So I wonder, can you like go grind with your lover at a
let me get
rave?
into
Oh my God, I have so many questions.
I think I might have answers to your questions.
Okay.
It was one of O'Rourke's first times doing drugs, but he didn't hold back. Armed with cannabis edibles, cocaine, ketamine, and booze, First off, one of his first times, he had edibles, coke, ketamine, and booze.
He just means doing them all together.
He partied for nearly 12 nights consecutively last August, during which time he claims to have raved for 60 hours.
Was he at Fringe?
Yeah, all without ever leaving his apartment. He did take bathroom breaks and managed to eat a steak, it says.
He one steak in 12 days?
Yes.
Or was the steak just...
Well, he took little breaks from it. I'm sure he got like snacks and stuff, but he managed to like cook a steak.
I feel like most of the drugs he's taking, other than the weed gummies too, probably nothing in there screams hunger.
Yeah, I mean,
coke, ketamine, and alcohol.
If you're at hour 50 and you're like, I want 10 more, then maybe.
I mean, I guess you're also fucking dancing your ass off. You got fucking.
Well, listen.
You got calories burning. You're not resting. You're raving.
Rave for 60 hours, all without ever leaving his apartment.
Oh, 60 hours. I thought you said 12 days. Did I just make that up?
He partied for nearly 12 nights consecutively last August.
I see. Okay.
So in 12 consecutive nights, he raved for 60 hours.
So how many hours is that?
6 to 8, I think. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60.
Well,
5 hours.
Is 5 feet tall.
5 hours a night. Listen.
Oh, I bet the thigh muscles on him are popping right now.
It's not even who you think it is. That's the funny thing. In the past 18 months, the 38-year-old IT worker from Dublin.
Oh, that's exactly who I thought it was.
Who did not want his first name used for privacy reasons, had partied on VR platform VR Chat every weekend, often staying up until 8 a.m., suited up in goggles and a full set of motion trackers.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of...
If your idea of getting drunk and a good time is a suit of motion trackers.
You know what's so funny is my first roommate, when I was 19 years old, if I saw him today, we would still be friends because we were underage and we could get alcohol. We just couldn't get into bars. Yeah. We would drink at home a lot.
Yeah.
And he used to always have this joke like, I'm a social drinker. I'm on Facebook. And it's funny as dumb and corny as it is. Now,
you guys were ahead of your time.
As much of a meme as that is now, it's super ahead of its time.
Well, do you remember in Upload the show on Prime? It's on Prime. It's actually I liked it. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's a good show.
It's by the guy who did something else very popular. I can't think right this second. But anyway, in Upload, if you haven't seen it, the idea is that you're connecting with like a virtual person who was once alive and now their like soul is in. Mm-hmm. Instead of heaven, you go onto like a CD-ROM, basically.
Essentially, your consciousness is put on a hard drive.
And they have all these tools in the show where you can like have sex with the person who's uploaded. Like if your lover dies. Remember that where she's in the bathtub in that wetsuit?
Yeah.
And there's like all these tentacles on the inside of it. That's what VR needs.
The point of the show is almost that like rich people's estates are still consuming things when they die.
Yeah.
Their bodies don't need Burger King, but they're buying literal Burger King after life.
There's one where the guy pays to get sick.
Yeah.
Because it's like he wants to
He's
experience.
Just bored.
Yeah.
It's essentially, honestly, the funny thing is it's just rich people.
Yeah.
They're just bored.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was sick. I lost like 30 pounds. It was great. Gave me something to do for 4 days.
Especially because you can design your own body anyway in this virtual. Anyway, okay, so go on.
Before COVID-19 lockdowns, there's a lot of weird shit going on and it can be hard to adjust, but if you do, it's magical, he tells the magazine. If you're not able to self-moderate and police yourself, it's endless. You're not going to win. You're not going to see the end of the party. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It just goes on because it's around the world. That term, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
It's literally 5 o'clock somewhere.
I wonder what time Ravers, what's their time to get started. Yeah. It's 10 a.m. somewhere.
Yeah. You're not going to win. You're not going to see the end of the party. O'Rourke is one of many who may struggle with the fantastical escapist allure of having access to a nearly nonstop, wild metaverse party from the comfort of their own homes, especially when he normally doesn't have plans with friends in the real world.
Well, he doesn't.
Before COVID-19, there had barely ever been more than 20,000 concurrent users on VR Chat. Concurrent users on
at the same time,
on the platform, not even in the same space, just on the platform at the same time. But its popularity has since exploded. More than 130,000 people logged into VR chat on New Year's Day this year, according to a VR culture blog. And there are dozens of weekly VR parties thanks to organizers across the US, Europe, and Asia. Once inside the VR chat metaverse, users who describe it to Wired as an immersive, futuristic utopia can choose which maps or parties they wish to explore in the form of their avatar.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Think about when you're playing Halo or Call of Duty.
It's like Halo meets Bonnaroo.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
like, which stage do you want to see?
Meanwhile, traditional clubs in the US and UK are closing at an alarming rate, which is true. Nightclubs are going out of business.
Nobody wants to go out dancing anymore.
Mm-hmm. Lower profits, and in places, onerous regulations around noise levels, security requirements, closing times.
Let's call it what it is. It's fucking money.
Yeah, well, and you know what else? Yes, there's a really sick bar by our house, and you can't have fun there after 8 p.m. because the rich neighbors.
Yeah, so either way, it's money.
Yeah, but it's I've read a couple things recently from people that think it's cell phones that like.
Yeah,
you used to black out and your friends would bust your balls. Now they post a video, it goes viral, your coworkers know about it.
I think it's also cell phones though, in the sense that like all of your friends exist here.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it rings true even for us. Like if you told us to gather our 10 best friends, most of them wouldn't be like local.
Well, you know what's funny is it's almost like weird that the things that get shared about you on the internet almost isolate you in your real life.
Yeah.
The things that you're like, I'm this side of the political spectrum, everyone in your real life judges you.
Yeah, but you can go online and find your community.
Yeah, so it's like...
Yeah. Well, they say you can't choose your family, right?
Yeah.
But you choose your virtual fucking raves you can.
The infinite amount of space available on VR plus the lack of regulation allows creators to blissfully ignore the economic pressures that limit nightlife in many places today. VR venues don't charge for entry, so the main cost is hardware, which can exceed $5,000 with a high-quality gaming PC and a full-body tracking device. Although a simpler setup with just a Meta Quest headset can be procured for as little as $350.
I was going to say, you keep saying metaverse. Does this mean that all of these are technically like owned by Facebook?
No, this one, a lot of times the term metaverse is lowercase. This is Meta Quest, which is the Meta brand.
The Facebook brand ones.
Just like Facebook, they'll get you the hardware for cheap. They're probably going to advertise to you.
When they're saying metaverse, they just mean a virtual world.
Yeah. Listen to this. There are, however, often long lines to get into the most popular virtual nightclubs since they are all capped at 80 people each due to the limits of the software on the platform, which is available through the host Steam, which is the gaming site. Wired spoke to 12 people who are engrossed in the scene. From trans people who feel safer partying in VR to introverts and seniors who find it more welcoming. It's even spawning underground VR sex and drug subcultures, with erotic club nights and venues meant to mimic the effect of psychedelics. Oh, wow, they're making like a mushroom trip in VR.
You don't take the mushrooms, you just put... No. See, I want to do that. That's what I want. I want a VR mushroom
Or
night.
Maybe you take the mushrooms and it's like a light show.
It's like
kind
designed
of a thing.
for, I don't know, like Cirque du Soleil.
O'Rourke and other enthusiasts say they've clocked up drug-fueled marathon dance sessions, all without many of the stressors of traditional club nights. Because of the headset, you don't realize how drunk you are until you take it off.
Just falling down your stairs.
Yes, the guy we're talking about, the 38-year-old IT guy,
doesn't want to be identified.
5'4", co-runs a party called Eurocore, which resembles a traditional club space with a narrow wooden-looking dance floor and a DJ booth overlooking it.
Wait, he's 5'4"?
Yes, he is. He says he is putting in so many hours, almost 1,800 at the time of writing, because he feels now is the high watermark moment for this. He's like, the scene's good right now. I'm not going to quit.
What do you get?
This is Ibiza in the late 90s. This is Vegas in 2010.
Can you make real money?
I don't know, but he admits he overdoes it sometimes. I accidentally did a heroic dose of mushrooms, and it was a bit of a mess. That's 5 grams, by the way. I haven't taken shrooms since because it was a bit heavy. He has decided that ketamine synergizes most with VR.
Well, good thing he learned something from that bad experience.
Others, like Helix, a 61-year-old VR DJ from Berlin.
Oh, no. Helix.
Has nearly 5,000 hours in VR. The equivalent of about 200 days, struggled to control their drinking. They're saying Helix might be a 61-year-old gal.
You can't call them that.
Individuals, homebodies, and LGBT people tell Wired that VR raves are secure and surreal spaces. Go listen to your local people, then come to any random club in VR. You're going to be shocked that your local DJ sucks ass. True. I mean, if you're going to a club in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or, you know, whatever, like, I grew up in Vegas.
Yeah.
This pretty much open mic night for the best DJs in the world.
Is it real? Is someone really DJing it too?
I think so.
Or is it like a mix that was like...
Well, you know what's funny is I didn't do this article. Maybe I'll do it at a different time, but I just found out that there was an article I was going to use last week for this. A radio station used a VR DJ for 6 months before anyone found out. People started to like this DJ so much they were like, "Who is this?"
But is this a real person? But it's
no, this an AI DJ.
Oh, so it's AI.
Yeah, but people like this person so much.
Why didn't they just name somebody and be like,
"No"? Well, the funny thing was,
just keep it going.
The AI had a name, you know, whatever it was, and it kept going, and people were like, "Where's she from? Like, where'd she grow up?"
No, I know, but at that point, they should have assigned a real person to it and like just had her.
Well, they're not the CIA.
I know. Well, that's what I mean. They should have just grabbed some gal in the office and been like, "This is DJ Amarez or whatever."
Yeah. Luna, a VR raver from the Netherlands, is suffering from poor mental health. She first went on VR chat at the age of 19. I was really depressed. I didn't have work. I didn't have friends. I was stuck at home. Anyways, I loved it instantly. She's partied so hard from her living room that her neighbors have complained.
Should we get ourselves one of these fucking Metaverse Quest goggles?
Others are getting hooked, even though the experience cannot fully replicate the neurochemical correlates of a real rave. Prolonged drug use in VR could also amplify sensory overload and cognitive fatigue, raising the risk of disassociation and having a bad trip, she warns. Having a bad trip in VR is probably worse than a bad trip outside of VR, because once one comes out of the VR environment, their body and mind need to readjust to the world too, and that is taxing. It's like you're coming out. It's like you're getting off an airplane and drugs.
It's like Inception. I mean? It's like a dream within a dream.
Yeah.
Have you ever done anything VR?
No. I mean,
like, I don't even think I've ever, like, I don't even have an image in my brain of it. Like, I've never even put them on.
Not modern day. I've done old VR, like, 3D.
Oh,
gaming.
yeah. Remember we were gonna play with our friends.
Yeah, we never did.
No, we never did. But I still want to do that.
Yeah, here's more about romantic couples if you care. Some erotic dancers have even developed popular online personas that are profiting from subscriptions like VR OnlyFans.
Oh, see,
It's the interest. You know what's so funny is...
But you still have to do the dancing on that one, right? Because you wear the motion sensor.
Yeah, the music, the dancing, the lighting, the atmosphere, the sense of community, the gay safe space, those are important.
Oh, you guys, I got to tell my mom I have another backup plan, a VR stripper.
Wow. After a BBC investigation found children were able to enter VR strip clubs and could be cajoled into performing virtual sex acts. Zeus Tapato, a PhD, a candidate researcher in neuroscience.
It's not funny. It's just, are they real children or are they VR children?
Well, they're real children.
Is it a 40-year-old man and an 8-year-old's
Well, you know when you see like 12-year-olds on bird scooters and you're like, how do they even know the laws of the road?
The same way that like I was in chat rooms getting
they're on their
pics.
parents. Yeah. These are kids who are on the internet. Like, the funny thing is, it's like, you think about like Catfished. Like these guys were like videoing and they're like, I'm 12. And then they show up and they're like, I guess they're kind of 12. Then it went to video and then they're like, I'm 12. And they're like, yeah, you look kind of 12.
Wait, do you mean How to Catch a Predator?
Yeah, How to Catch a...
You said Catfish. I was like, I don't feel like there was any child molestation on Catfish.
In all honesty, How to Catch a Predator was just Predator Catfish.
You're right, it was.
They were just catfishing
very niche
predators.
age group.
Yeah. It was just children catfishing old men.
Yeah, it was the original Catfish.
Just
very specific.
A sting operation is just a police catfish investigation.
Is catfishing illegal? It is when she's 12, brother.
Catfishing is just called entrapment in the court of law.
Yeah,
you know?
honestly.
No, it's just such an interesting scene.
I don't know. It seems like a waste of a lot of things to me. I don't really know if I would get anything out of it.
I think it's for people that don't have much to waste as it is.
Yeah. And I think it's also amplifying the problem because now you have this fucking VR girlfriend that encourages you to blow up your local fucking Costco. You know what I
Or
mean?
send $5,000 to an unmarked account in
it's
Russia.
It's just like none of it seems good. I think and now we have 61-year-old fucking DJs out here just acting like it's okay.
I think it's a very isolated, lonely world. And I think this is only making the problem worse.
Yeah, me too.
But in a lot of ways, it's already, the funny thing about the future is you still can't stop it.
Yeah.
What do we know about telling people not to do? They could go and outlaw VR raving, and there would be more VR headsets being sold on Amazon the next day. The TikTok phones, like take it away from people, and they're just going to want it more.
Yeah.
So
if you take a VR stripper away from a guy.
You try to rob a 48-year-old Dubliner standing at 4'6" of his virtual
life
prostitute. Yeah.
Well, remember that there used to be a show. What's it called? Second Life. It's like essentially old it's not VR, but I think it was called Second Life. It was a website that existed like very early. And you could like create like
digital
a fake
homes.
It was like The Sims came to life sort of, but it was all still fake.
But people were spending real money.
Yes. I feel like this is just the advanced version of that.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of people who are never going to have a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
But they would rather have an internet Lamborghini to show their friends than
that's because they only have internet friends.
If you're in the middle of nowhere, you can get a car with a 6-speed transmission and a V8, an old piece of shit that makes you feel it's exhilarating to drive. It breaks down all the time. It leaks in your driveway. It sucks. It was only $3,000. For the price of a VR headset, you could buy the thrill of a sports car. It just won't look good. But these people would rather show the world they have a fake Lamborghini than drive a shitty sports car. But do they
show the world, or do they just show their world?
Like the amount of people in the world, there are so many guys out there who are like, I can't afford a race car, but I could buy a $2,000 Miata and weld they'll literally weld it into being a better car. So it's like, if you are a car enthusiast, there's a VR price point for you to enjoy a car. It's just not as glamorous as a Lamborghini, But what does it cost on this VR website to have a big yellow Lamborghini?
I mean, it sounds like, are these, that's the other thing. Do you have to like buy these?
I'm sure I always heard everything was for sale.
I mean, isn't that everything and everything all the time? It's
Uh-huh.
for sale.
When you go on Etsy,
even a Burning Man, you got to trade your body or something, right?
Think about Etsy, blueprints that you would buy on Etsy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's essentially what it is it's like, it's somebody makes a digital product and then you can just go bing, so it can be anywhere. Who knows what it costs? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it just seems so ridiculous. I mean, maybe I have no idea what it feels like. Like maybe putting it on is so like enveloping that you all of a sudden are in the environment.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems so ridiculous to be very well aware that I'm at home in my living room. It's 11 a.m. and I'm on Molly, just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so ridiculous to me. No?
I mean, what's so funny is how many overdose, how often does a paramedic discover, or a police officer doing a wellness check, an overdose, and he's just got a big old pair of goggles on,
motion suit, like half unzipped,
his dick's hanging out of the motion
Here's
suit.
my question: that person also falls over in the middle of the rave.
Oh yeah,
everyone just trampling this person. Like they have to understand that means the person's down at home too, right?
Well, yeah. What?
So can you contact the VR paramedics to figure out who the real person is?
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Unless they took off their suit and threw it on the ground and it just looks like their body's there. But they're like, this is a Travis Scott concert all of a sudden. We've trampled this man.
They're in the closet with a belt around their neck.
It's like, what? It's crazy.
Yeah, the people are just sending wellness checks from the police department, and
this guy has a VPN on, so they're ending up in like
New Zealand.
Yeah, just some Hollywood weirdo, and they went halfway around the world.
Yeah.
All right.
But what a weird space. The interesting thing is the internet has so many little pockets and corners that there are online book clubs There are online raves. There are online sex dungeons. There are online.
People are so
Pick
weird.
a hobby. There's online dog communities, probably. You know, like
I guess the only good thing about these like online things in this way is that you don't ever have to reveal your real identity. Like, you know what I mean? Like Donald Trump could be leading one of these raves right now and we would never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it used to be like to play on the internet, you had to reveal your face. Like when cameras first came out, like the online sex stuff was like cam girls and stuff. Here, you can literally be a completely hidden person.
I do think in our lifetime, they're going to make attempts at creating almost a blockchain identity for like a social security blockchain.
I think so too. Like following like all of your account, like who you are, like a digital passport almost for you.
Do you know what the social credit score is in China? Have you ever heard of the idea?
No.
Essentially what it is individuals have a credit score that's based on how shitty of a human being they are.
I think there's a Black Mirror episode about that.
Sure, yeah, there is. It's based on that. But
it's so foreign to Americans, they had to introduce it as a Black Mirror instead of a real policy.
It exists in China.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is no joke. It exists with facial recognition technology. So I don't know. I mean, you hear wild exaggerations. I don't know. Do you litter and they throw you in jail? I don't think so. But I think what happens is like if you get caught breaking a law, one thing a lot of people will say about it that it's overarching government control, you know. But one thing I'd heard about it at one point was like the cops never come, so at least you can know. You can have a Carfax of how shitty a person is, so you don't have to deal with them. Because if you do deal with them and you call the cops,
I see.
Almost like in LA, if you call LAPD at 9 p.m. on a Saturday, no one's coming. So it's like, almost this idea that like,
wait, but can everyone else check everyone else's?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how it works.
Also, funny enough to mention upload again. But do you remember in that episode when she meets like a guy on a dating app and they both have to like digitally consent by scanning their own like.
Oh yeah.
They almost had like Apple Watches, but they had to like. I consent to this. Yeah. It's like kind of sort of weirdly like that where you can like. Yeah. They can track, like you can't say I didn't consent because they have proof that you
Honestly,
did.
I bet Drake has that. He's probably got a QR code and he's like, fucking hit the QR.
Girl, go ahead and read right into this wrist right here.
Now listen, baby, this is nothing crazy. This is just, by the way, you're going to have to lock your phone up after this. But before you lock your phone up, I've heard that he makes people lock up their phones at like parties and stuff.
Well, that one's, honestly, I feel like in some ways I get it. We were just talking about it's the only way you can have fun anymore.
How about this? You're partying with Drake. What the fuck do you need your phone?
And it's kind of like it kind of gets rid of the people who were only there for the photo, right? Because most people only want to. I don't want to party with Drake. You know what I mean? He probably drinks way more than I do.
I'd rather be in a VR headset.
Me too. But it's like the only reason I would party with Drake is to tell people I party with Drake and to take photos. You know what I mean? Like it's like so. I guess it's kind of in some weird way. Yeah. Cool. I don't think he's doing it for the right reasons.
I mean, he posted his own leaked nude, so
yeah, I think that was on purpose.
Yeah, yeah, it totally was. I think in our lifetime, though, people will make attempts at giving. Honestly, you know what's interesting is imagine if blue check marks turned into this person has been verified as a real person.
Yeah, and then it turns out you could just buy it for $5 later on.
Almost like a driver's license photo.
Yeah, and a real ID.
A real ID, yeah.
You see, that won't happen in our lifetime.
Are you doing that?
No.
Is this a good time to pivot?
It is a good time to pivot, but I don't have an article about it. The article was very politicized, so I didn't read it. But the headline was basically like, why can't they get this together?
Yeah.
This real ID has been pushed back by 2 years again.
Speaking of what we're talking about with digital identification, in the UK, you can use, and I think there's like 3 airports in America we saw recently.
California might actually be, because remember, California has it, but Nevada doesn't.
Yeah. So there are 3 states where they're using essentially QR code identification.
Yeah. Or I don't know how it works.
It's got to be based on facial recognition too.
Well,
because they're airports.
An actual digital ID.
Yeah.
So how do you get it?
I guess what I'm saying is there has to be some form of facial rec to it too, because what's to stop me from walking up with your cell phone?
No, I think it's the same way. I think they scan your digital ID and then you still have to look into that camera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they compare.
I've seen some of that AI. Was watching this thing recently about AI's facial recognition stuff.
Yeah.
And like they can take a picture of a kid and a picture of an old person and tell you if that kid would have aged into that face. They can
Yes, but no, right? It's like,
well, they look at markers in the face and they
yeah,
go,
but
like,
what if that kid was going to step out in front of a bus in 4 years and now he has no?
What it does is it says we can say to a high score for this technology is we can say to like a 80% match that we're 80% certain that this old person is not this young person. Like these cheekbones of this child are so different that unless there was facial reconstructive surgery,
that doesn't work in certain cities.
This old person's cheeks cannot be this child's cheeks or brow line or where the ears are or whatever. And the interesting thing is it's like this software that they're talking about is the one that China uses. And they're doing facial recognition on Chinese people, so it must be good. I mean, that joke wrote itself. I'm sorry, but it's
That's true.
yeah. But it's like one of 5 technologies recognized worldwide.
Interesting.
By this like massive security company thing.
Also kind of creepy.
It's wild. Yeah.
But cool, I guess.
But I mean, if it gets us to not have to carry IDs around, like,
yeah, if I can't lose my ID anymore,
like it's funny. The older I get, I'm like, listen, I already know, like the young me was like, let's fight this. And the old me is like, you're going to fucking do it anyway. Can you just make it convenient for me?
Well, people are all like, they're stealing our, like, our thought. Now that once they put ads on Instagram,
here's the thing.
They've been stealing our thoughts.
Listen, when you didn't even say black pants out loud and it started advertising you black pants, maybe, you know what, it's funny is it does measure your eyes, right? We do know that. Yeah,
because you can unlock your phone and stuff.
Yeah, but no, one thing that documentary about social media that came out a few years ago was saying is that, like, it looks at what picture, like when you scroll through the Discover page.
If it shows you 8 pictures, it knows which ones caught your eye.
Like if you're constantly looking at red sports cars, it's like if you pause longer, I was thinking out loud, I wonder if it just sees you and it goes, every time she sees 3 hot chicks in black pants, in tight black pants, she goes and looks at 4 of them. She just looked at 3 pairs of black pants.
Yeah, maybe.
Or, you know, what's funny is maybe it understands that the way you look at, like, you scroll through pictures of women and you probably look at the top, the skirt, the boots.
Yeah.
And when a dude scrolls past it, he just sees tits, ass.
Oh, he looks at the top, the skirt, and the boots too. Just,
but I wonder if
differently.
I just wonder if that, because I've always wondered, how does it know to show us black pants? I wonder if it's the eyes. I wonder if it's what you're literally looking at.
Ew, it's creepy.
I know. Anyway, we've rambled on.
Your story was all about fake love.
Mm-hmm.
My story is all about real world love and where it's going this year. And honestly, your projections looked better than mine. So this article is called How We Love Now. And it says, the way we connect with one another is changing irreversibly with unadulterated pleasure front and center. Alexandra Jones takes a look at the movements shaking up the love scene. So meet cutes. And I was telling you about this earlier, but it's this idea of some organizers in different cities essentially setting like a dinner party and selling random tickets to it. And everyone who attends is single and they meet up with all the other singles.
99 other singles.
Yeah. Well, so one of them is called Dinner 100 Supper Club, and it's in London. And it's a chance for 100 single strangers to sit down to a meal together. In New York, a similar story, the founders of a new dating service came up with an algorithm for matching people based on shared values using a survey, but instead of deploying the technology via yet another app, they set up parties where singles could meet their matches in real life. The twist was that no one would be told who their perfect match was until the end of the evening. It says it created kind of like a guess who environment. That's fun.
It's almost like casual speed dating.
Yeah.
But what if you never get to your person?
I don't know. It didn't really give the rules, but it says that dating apps usage is down everywhere. It says between 2023 and 2024, Tinder lost 600,000 users.
Wow.
Hinge users fell by 130,000 and Bumble declined by 370,000. You know what's not mentioned on there? Grindr.
Grindr.
That's because it's not a dating app.
Grindr is increasing.
it basically goes on to say that there's all these reasons that people are just sick of the regular old, swiping and dating and it turning into nothing but casual sex. Another thing that they've predicted for like this year, like what love is relationship anarchy. So 29-year-old Londoner Lou came out as a relationship anarchist to his parents last year. I think they found it quite confusing. He says, explaining his anti-hierarchical approach, rather than prioritizing one partner above all others, he gives equal importance to friends, lovers, and companions. He's part of a growing community that is rejecting monogamy and marriage in favor of alternative relationship structures. Award-winning polyamory educator Leanne Yao argues that there are two factors that have led to this big sexual switch-up. The queer rights movements paved the way for more acceptance of alternate relationship structures, because when you start to question whether a relationship has to be between a man and a woman or whether sex has to be aligned with gender, other aspects of relationships also come into question, like whether monogamy really is the best structure out there. So basically they're saying it's not even that they're poly dating. It's that they're prioritizing other relationships as much as a romantic relationship. I'd punch you in the fucking face.
Like, no, babe, my friends are just as important
My
as you.
mate needs me.
Yeah.
All right, love. See you next week. I spent 4 days with you. I'm going to spend 4 days with him now.
Yeah, you're right. I think they are onto something. The person I spend the most time with just said, I'll fucking punch you in the face.
See, so you're saying you need 4 days with your mates instead?
Yeah.
What if we put pleasure at the center of our lives? From an economic standpoint, hard times have long been associated with higher rates of breakups. Numerous studies have found that as unemployment rates go up, so do rates of divorce, which is crazy. I understand breakups, but not divorce. Breakups is like, yeah, I can't afford to take my girl to dinner. Divorce is like, I can't afford to split half my wealth. Why would I divorce you now?
But money problems are the biggest. Are the biggest factor in divorce. I think they're like
well, way to really pile on, Sharon. He just lost his job. Now you need him to buy you out of the house so he can keep his fucking iguana collection.
Yeah, I think.
It may be contributing to a loosening of relationship boundaries. In a pressure cooker environment, we're simply less likely to take the risk of going all in with a partner who would take half our savings with them when they go.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, God, Lou, the relationship anarchist, he lives in a warehouse commune with 18 other people.
She's going to take half of my commune space. I got my own bunk in this commune and she wants half? How dare her? I got a pair of Doc Marten boots. What does she want, the left boot?
We get 4 slices of asparagus a week.
Oi, what does she want, me half of the sex rights in our cult? She knows I only get to have sex 3 times a week in the cult.
3 times.
And she wants to have 1.5 of me sexes?
Miss.
What a bitch. She wants me sexes.
She's a little cunt.
This is why I want to leave her. No sexes from her, taking me over sexes. It's like I need anarchy in my life just to regain control.
You have to give up time with my cunts to hang out with this cunt.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, mate. I have noticed that.
Okay, it says the soft life. As traditional relationship structures have been reconfigured in some quarters, and others, the heteronormative ideal has reestablished itself with force. From the trad wives.
Do you know what trad wives are? It was like, you know what cottagecore is? Like, it's like a TikTok. Cottagecore is like a TikTok trend of like girls dressing like
Little House on the Prairie?
Yeah, sure. But trad wives is like, it's like a women on TikTok who are like, I cook for my man, I clean for my man, I'm a stay at home. Like, it's like,
the ones who vote, ones who vote Republican and against abortion.
Yeah, it's like, but it's there. It's like it's conservative momfluencers, I guess. I mean,
that's all my feed is, honestly.
They're trad wives. You know what I mean? They're like,
that name is way too cool for what they are.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's apparently been.
I'd love to trade wives.
The concept of leveling up your socioeconomic status through marriage is nothing new. It's been around for at least 3,000 years, says Thompson. I think TikTok and YouTubers have played a huge role in essentially rebranding this as something empowering. Which I find quite concerning. But if we want to understand why more young women are looking to level up by marrying well, we need to take a look at the economic conditions that are making women feel this is their only option of leading a comfortable life. Preach. Sober play. We talked about this the other day. Another thing that is the trend for what love looks like. You said that was like a new thing in young people. I don't know. Maybe that's a new thing in all people. The first time I went to a sex party sober, I felt so anxious, says Lola, a.k.a. Miss Masochist, a London-based kink content creator and founder of one of the capital's only sober play sex parties, Lucid.
Ooh.
Now I know what we're doing next time we're in London.
Mm-hmm.
Though she'd been attending sex and kink parties for years, she had always used alcohol to loosen me up a bit. I thought that alcohol made me fun, and that's the opposite of what you want to be at a sex party is loose, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What about? Okay.
Might not feel as good the first part of the night, but it might not feel as bad the second half of the night.
I mean, I don't know. The idea for Lucid came after Lola attended a few more sex parties sober and found that playing with intoxicated people didn't feel right. I mean, honestly, true that, I guess. I would think
when you're sober, doing conversations with drunk people isn't fun.
Yeah,
like,
let alone...
People on like amphetamines on I'm thinking about cokeheads when you're at like a bar or something, they just won't shut the hell up. You're like, God, I'm at a sex party and I don't want to fuck you. What's the problem here?
Yeah. Chem couples, another new.
Yeah, I've heard of chem sex.
At the opposite end of the scale, but still in search of deeper connection, is the growing movement of couples who get high and stay together.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to word that.
Yeah, no, they mean.
Do they mean stay together like getting after they get high, or stay together like indefinitely?
No, they're specifically. I mean, chem couples. I don't know. You're telling me about new traditions, but chem sex is like a kind of a big thing. It's people just getting super.
Well,
just
I mean,
like ketamined out and banging.
It sounds like a lot of these are like people use it for better or worse. I don't know how I feel about this growing trend of like drug-induced therapy, but it sounds like, so this one says, one couple I know, a therapist and research scientist, partake in an MDMA-assisted relationship AGM once per year. Basically, they take MDMA, known for promoting feelings of openness, euphoria, and empathy, and lowering inhibitions, and set goals for themselves as individuals and as a couple, as well as working through any niggles. I don't think we can say that in the US.
No, don't say that.
In their relationship.
Wow. They put it in parentheses too, like they knew you weren't supposed to say it.
Do you think that's just like a little endearing term this couple has for each other?
Don't.
The drug, my friend explained, takes the sting out of difficult conversations. We take it very seriously. We set an agenda, which we always do while sober. Then we take the MDMA. What?
Nothing. We say it again. We do what sober?
We take it very seriously. We set an agenda, which we always do while sober. Then we take the MDMA in quite a ceremonial way. We cleanse the space. We set an intention, either privately or together. We then lie down and listen to a guided meditation for 15 minutes. By that point, we probably started feeling the effects of the MDMA. At first, we don't really talk. We just need to stretch and move. Maybe we dance. We journal privately. Those first few hours are kind of fun. Then we come together to talk. Honestly, this sounds so fun. They had chem couples. Baby.
I can't even get you to do mushrooms, though.
MDMA. I want to feel euphoric, not scared. It says it's not as wild as it might seem. Drug-assisted couples therapy using MDMA as well as other psychedelic drugs like mushrooms has been happening since the 1970s and has seen a huge surge in popularity in the past 15 years as part of the renaissance in psychedelic research. Yeah, it's for research, babe. Though official statistics are hard to come by because, well, this is a UK article. Mushrooms and MDMA are Class A drugs in the UK, and possession alone carries a potential 7-year prison sentence. Anecdotally, the underground use of the drugs, particularly MDMA by couples therapists, certainly seems to be on the rise. Pioneered by the likes of New York-based psychotherapists, they cost between 5 and 10 pounds to get MDMA. You can do it in Australia. Anyway. Oops.
So psychedelic in like assisted therapy is really big in like veterans and people with PTSD.
I'm
like
very interested in the idea.
Crimes, people who survive heinous crimes, you know what I mean? To me though, it honestly kind of feels like the Western medicine's answer to Eastern medicine, you know? Like maybe if you would have meditated and really got your emotions in control 30 years ago, you wouldn't have had to have taken a drug you got in a basement to go and untangle it, you know?
That's what I like about the legit way is that at least, I mean, again, none of these drugs are technically legal, I guess. So I don't know where, like in LA, you can very much go and do ketamine therapy. Like at an office with, I don't know what kind of certification these people have, right?
Yeah.
Are they doctors? Are they?
Well, they're therapists.
Legally, though, they can't, I don't think, be doctors.
I don't know how it works. Honestly, the way I think they do it a lot now,
they send
these
it
services
to you.
is they send it to you and they do it virtually.
So what I was going to say is the thing that appeals to me about that is that I like where the drugs are sourced. It's about the only way that you can legally buy drugs, right?
Sure. And
like if I wanted to just do ketamine.
But no, because you normally have to like send Bitcoin and buy it on. You remember those?
Yeah, but so if I went to an actual ketamine therapist in person,
I just imagine if you went to a ketamine therapist, it's going to be like $4,000.
I know, but would it at least be good ketamine? Like, would there be no fentanyl in my ketamine?
Ask Matthew Perry.
I don't think fentanyl was his issue, was it, or was it?
I don't know exactly.
I think he just owed.
But I mean, yeah, but I just mean like.
The only thing that's appealing to me about legalization.
The ketamine queen, she got arrested.
Well, did she die though?
No, she got because he died, she ended up getting arrested. Which is
bullshit because nobody else was dead, right?
I mean, the guy that killed Mac Miller got a hard time.
I know.
They always make a.
What I'm saying is, I don't think, I could be totally wrong. I don't think Matthew Perry's issue was fentanyl. I think Matthew Perry's issue was OD.
I think he drowned. I think he was
That's not her problem. Like, I mean, yeah, she shouldn't be an illegal drug dealer, I guess, but also no one else died.
Yeah, you could smoke weed and get in a hot tub.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I don't know. I could be, if there's fentanyl in it, then I'm off the ketamine queen immediately.
I remember the story, but it's been so long.
But anyway, my point is, I love the idea of legalization and like acceptance of these drugs, because I think our biggest problem with drugs these days is like lack of control of what's in them.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's appealing to be able to go, and if I ever have the urge to do ketamine, I would like to go buy it from someone that felt like legit, you know, like that was like licensed or what the fuck ever you do to sell ketamine legally.
Not just a queen.
Yeah, not just a ketamine queen.
It was the actor's third injection of the day. Hours after that fatal dose, the Friends actor was found face down in the jacuzzi. He essentially got so high, I think he drowned. I mean, he might have died and slumped over, but he definitely either overdosed or he died. The drugs were the cause.
The ketamine was clean. The ketamine queen was clean, okay?
I mean,
honestly, I'm going to make t-shirts and start a march.
I mean, here's the thing is...
Free the queen, the ketamine queen.
Free the queen of ketamine.
Free the clean ketamine queen. Free the queen, her ketamine's clean.
I mean, a lot of people were of the belief that, and you could tell me, you feel free to message us. You tell us if it's different, but... Back in the day, a lot of people were saying, it wasn't the Four Loko that killed you. It was the fact that you're 90 pounds, you're bulimic, you haven't eaten in 2 days, and you had 3 Four Lokos.
Yeah.
So at some point you go, well, I mean, you were on your third ketamine of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. If he had drowned after having 8 drinks in the hot tub.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gone and arrested the guy at Ralph's for selling it to him. Or they wouldn't have gone to Jameson's factory and been like, who made this bottle?
Yeah. Which one are you?
Yeah. And again, I guess it's probably because it's an illegal drug and no one's monitoring that. But wasn't he supposed to have been on some kind of ketamine therapy?
I think it's one of those things that, just like how cannabis was early on, I don't think that any of this is federally legal at all.
But I mean, was anyone supposed to be like guiding his drug? Like, is that why she got arrested? Because was she like selling him this as like a package deal of like, or was she just selling him drugs?
I think she was just selling him drugs.
Because I felt like I had read something about him having like a guide, like that he was using ketamine regularly to like get better.
I think he was. I think he was using ketamine therapy regularly, but I think he was using ketamine more regularly.
So you think he had separate, like this ketamine queen sold him his non-therapy ketamine?
I think he showed up every Wednesday for his therapy session with his own ketamine.
Oh, you don't think he had to use the house ketamine?
No, he got his ketamine from a person called the Ketamine Queen.
Why didn't he have to get the ketamine from the therapist?
I don't know.
This is like a BYOK therapy situation.
Yeah, I guess.
If they regulated this shit, poor Matthew Perry might still be alive, and it's not the Queen's fault. It's fucking the FDA. I'm blaming.
And I agree with you. Unfortunately, we just learned in Portland that's not quite the case.
Well, there's got to be an option C.
Was it Portland where they have clean needle delivery? There's like a needle delivery chick.
Honestly, that's like a big service. A lot of there's a lot of like don't ask, don't tell places. Like once a month they'll set up a clinic.
I personally don't care if we give them needles for free. I just think they should be legally required to dispose of them properly.
What I was going to say is a lot of the places that, at least around Ohio and stuff that used to exist, you had to bring needles back in. And in
to get more.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so I think, again, sometimes it's more about controlling the problem than stomping it out completely, right?
Yeah.
Those are people's faces. So what if they're crack induced?
I think people addicted to drugs is awfully convenient for. And again,
that we're going to be the hottest chem couple on the block.
The harder the world gets, the more people are going to slip into. I mean, like, here's the thing: if you end up on the streets, you lose your house. Whether you ended up on the streets because you were an addict or not, you're around them, you have access to it, you probably feel like there's zero hope to ever get out. Like,
I mean, you could have replaced the street with comedy.
Yeah, chicken or the egg, you know what I mean? Well, I think the suicide rates among people on the streets and people in
similar.
We get hit by cars at about the same rate.
Higher than air traffic controllers these days even.
So...
Well, don't be such a bore. Let's just do MDMA together and dance and see what happens.
You do MDMA... And
you dance?
I'll be your therapist.
Feels a lot like a Matthew Perry situation. You're going to find me dead in the hot tub next week.
You're getting very horny. And you're like, no, it's not hypnotherapy. You're getting super wet.
It doesn't sound fun to do MDMA alone. See, it's either you or the VR headset then.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to dance at 11 a.m.
Get your VR.
Get in the living room
Get
alone.
your VR headset out and find a chem. It's like your work husband. Go find your chem husband.
Yeah. Go find your VR chem husband.
Does it freak you out that like your wife like has drug orgies with some guy in Vietnam every weekend? No, he's in Vietnam. They're never going to have sex.
What if he's like, no, they're not real drugs?
Oh, I just been squeezing Visine in her drink and...
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Right, well...
The world of chemically induced love.
It's probably about as much fun as non-chemically induced love.
Yeah.
I think it all happens at once.
You know what's funny is like, have you ever had an argument with a significant other and tried to remember anything about it after?
No, you can't. Yeah,
and you can't.
You're like blacked out from it, even when you're sober.
At least arguing with someone on like MDMA when they're like, the flowers and the fucking nightmares, and then there was the picture frame that one time, and it's like it might as well be your girlfriend when she's drunk. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's not about an actual thing. It's about the way you made me feel.
Well, you have to set the intention for your argument.
Yes,
so
yeah.
We're going to fight about that picture frame. And then, all right. You ready to get out of here?
I'm ready if you are.
We're ready. We're heading to Vegas. We'll be back with updates.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for my ketamine addiction. Boom.
If you know the ketamine queen, give her some love.
Yeah.
It was clean.
Honestly, she's probably hanging out with Luigi Mangione
I was
right
just
now.
about to say, those two feel like my two. I'm champion. I'm getting behind them
She's
now.
helping him with his
I need
back.
to do some research on this ketamine queen. And no matter what, there's a slogan there, like the OJ, like, what's the glove?
If the glove does not fit, you must acquit.
Is that where the if it fits, I sits girls stole that from?
Maybe.
Well, anyway, this feels like a slogan. Like clean queen, ketamine queen.
Yeah.
Queen. That's too many. Anyway. All right, follow Alex on he has a strip club in his virtual reality world.
Yeah.
And on Tuesdays, he goes by the name Kitty and he dances.
Due to server space, we can only get 30 people in my sex club at a time.
So
but
follow Alex in his sex club.
Hey, listen, it's a topless dance party, but lucky for you, you can program your tits ahead of time. You can pick your own. You can go one bigger, one
Nipples
smaller.
have to measure a full inch to get in, though.
Yeah.
Just so you know, the lines are long.
You can go tassel. You do whatever you want, okay? We got a lot of stuff going on.
What was the vagina bedazzling called?
Vajazzle?
Yeah. Is it that easy?
Yeah, it's vajazzling, yeah.
Remember the chick that wore it on Naked Attraction?
Yeah.
Like a little bitch.
Vajazzler.
You don't get to go judge 6 dicks. And then when it's your turn to come out naked, you come out beat it up like a little fucking art project from Michaels.
Yeah, you went on television. Everyone else got naked. You got to just show up. I mean, imagine if you were a contestant you're in the first round and someone's vajazzled, you're probably like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
What's under that jazzle there?
Yeah.
What's your jazzle hiding?
She's like, oh, I got a herpes outbreak today. If you guys haven't watched Naked Attraction, it's worth the watch.
I'm just hiding me scars for the camera.
I got an outbreak.
The
clinic was closed.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a proper injection.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye, girl.
What?
Nothing. I just love you. I'm just rubbing your leg. I like you. You just crack me up. Don't keep this in. Me being sweet to you.